Dark Case Files, Real Crime, Real Stories. California. The 1970s. The streets were quiet. The air was warm. People left windows unlocked. Children rode bikes. Couples strolled hand in hand. Families felt safe inside their homes. But that sense of safety would soon vanish. The first break-ins in 1974, residents in Visalia, California began noticing strange occurrences. A window left ajar. A drawer slightly open. A feeling of being watched. At first, it seemed minor, harmless, perhaps a burglar. But women began reporting a sinister presence. They described a shadow moving silently, studying them, sometimes standing outside their homes for hours. Police wrote it off as random theft. They were wrong. East Area Rapist. 1976. The intrusions turned violent. In Sacramento County, a masked man entered homes in the dead of night. He wore gloves, carried a flashlight, carried a gun. He cut phone lines, disabled lights, tied up men first, stacking dishes on their backs, threatening to shoot if they moved. Then he attacked the women. Some victims described his whispers as calm, almost friendly, before the terror hit. Others recalled that he cried softly at times, a disturbing mixture of brutality and control. Months later, some received phone calls. "I'm going to kill you." The media named him the East Area Rapist. Panic spread. Locks were added. Guns purchased. Neighborhood watches formed. But he kept coming. Escalation to murder. 1979. The crimes spread south. Couples were found bludgeoned, shot, bound. The attacks were no longer just assaults. They were executions. Police didn't realize at first that the rapist in Northern California and the killer in Southern California were the same man. By the early 1980s, fear gripped an entire region. Families slept with lights on, windows locked. Phones constantly monitored. The Phantom didn't just attack. He stalked. He watched. He memorized routines. He hid in backyards, observing families for weeks before striking. Sometimes he entered homes when no one was there, learning layouts, studying responses. He was methodical, patient, disciplined. Then, suddenly, he stopped. By 1986, the attacks ended. The Golden State Killer vanished, leaving detectives, victims, and families with nothing but questions. The ghost in the system for more than 30 years. The Golden State Killer remained a ghost. Detectives retired. Evidence sat in storage. Technology advanced, and in 2018, everything changed. Investigators tried a new method, uploading crime scene DNA to a public genealogy database. They weren't looking for the killer directly. They were looking for family connections. The DNA pointed to distant relatives. From there, detectives built a massive family tree. Every branch examined. Every possibility followed. Eventually, it narrowed to one man, Joseph James DeAngelo, a former police officer. The arrest in April 24, 2018, officers quietly arrested 72-year-old DeAngelo outside his home. Neighbors were shocked. He mowed his lawn, fixed his car, argued occasionally with neighbors. No one suspected the man next door. But DNA proved the truth. He was responsible for 13 murders, over 50 rapes, more than 100 burglaries across California. For decades, he had lived freely, while victims lived with trauma, nightmares, and fear. The courtroom in 2020, DeAngelo pleaded guilty. He avoided the death penalty, but received life without parole. In court, survivors faced him. Some were elderly. Some still carried the fear from those nights. One by one, they described broken trust, stolen innocence, years of sleeping with lights on. DeAngelo, he sat quietly, expressionless. The Phantom had finally been named. The real horror of this case isn't terrifying just because of the number of crimes. It's terrifying because of patience, because of planning, because he blended seamlessly into ordinary life. He attended family gatherings, worked as a police officer, lived in neighborhoods filled with the same kind of homes he once invaded. For decades, he proved something terrifying. Evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like your neighbor. The Legacy Golden State Killer case changed criminal investigations forever. Genealogy DNA became a powerful tool. Cold cases across the country were reopened. Forensic science advanced, proving that time doesn't erase evidence. And sometimes, justice waits decades to arrive. This is Dark Case Files. Real crime. Real stories. Subscribe so you don't miss the next case.